Oh, hello. Hello, hello. 1010, check, check. I could not get this frickin' thing to start. Nice. Thanks, Blake. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, man, oh man. What a frickin' I don't know what's going on. It's the first time like I just went through I was actually early. And I thought, okay, I'm good. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna go and I'll be back. And I go to click on stream and check the stream and nothing is happening. So it's like so mind boggling. Anyways, and I still can't see the pop out window. That it's fantastic. No, it's it choppy as hell. It should clear up in a second, hopefully. Upcoming on YouTube, I'm not live. Dude, well, so there's two. I created one and then I tried to stream it and it wouldn't kick off. And then I ended it and I created another one and it wasn't kicking off. So I went to the previous one where everybody was, all the chat. It's driving me insane. I think. So I still can't hear myself. Can you guys hear me? Oh my god, I am getting whatever. Let me close some of these windows. Super frustrating. And I have to find the chat window that I just had. Oh man, it's just, I tell you, I don't run into this very often. And so everything usually goes pretty buttery smooth. I'm not quite sure why. It was kind of a pain in my ass. So I don't know. Still adjusting a couple windows here quick, so I apologize. Anyways. All right. I think I'm set. Now I got to recover from technical snafus. Oy, I tell you, on a day. So thanks everybody for showing up. Gosh, you had some early arrivals. So Mcatron, see ya. Roger, good to see ya. Victor, Rob, good to see ya. Harrigan, Blake. Let's see, Gabe, see ya. Thanks for making yourself known. Appreciate it. Laramie, Ryan, Lou, Jason, Wayne, Orcus Dorcas is early. Nice. Who else did I miss? Anybody else join? I missed. I don't look. Doesn't look like it. The core group. Chris, good to see you. Morning. All right, I think I'm caught up. Whew. Shake it off. Anyways. All right. And of course, since I should be good, let me double check something quick. Yeah, right, baby. Okay. Woof. Stop mining Bitcoin and things should clear up. I tell you, it's smooth on my end. Should be smoothing out on your end, hopefully. Anyways, thank you for joining me on this Labor Day U.S. American holiday weekend. So in case some of you do not know, some of you in Canada and Australia and abroad that may visit this after the fact, Monday is our American Labor Day weekend. So celebrate labor. Makes this world go. Thanks, Harrigan. So, let's start with the question du jour. I'm going to ask, what is your favorite gaming accessory? I think we did I think we did one on non-gaming accessory. But your favorite gaming accessory, and if it's like dice, that's fine. But why is it your favorite set of dice? Is it describe it? Tell me why. Like, it's the thing that you got to have at the table, and it's not necessarily like the rule book. No, like your favorite gaming accessory, something that helps you run the game. Could even be a good luck charm for all I know. Let me know, and I'll even do one better. So M. Catron kicks it off with dice rolling tray. Now I will challenge you, M. Catron. Is that a snappy one? Is it the octagonal snappy one with the snap corners? Or is it the rectangular one with the snap corners? Or is it a wooden one? Is it a circular one? What kind of wood is it? Help me out. I need a little more detail than just dice rolling tray. Laramie says, Harrigan, my favorite accessory is Harrigan. Fantastic, Laramie. That's fantastic. Luke A. Index cards. Booyah. Index cards. 5x7, 3.5x5. I don't know if they come any bigger. Lined, unlined, dotted. Come on now. Help a brother out. For play or GM. Yeah, either. Yes. So, Lou, the answer to your question is yes. You ask for play or GM. Victor says, my favorite accessory is a square. Fold flat dice tray with snaps. I have one, and I haven't played in person except for Gamehole Con, I think since the pandemic. So 3 years. I don't think I've played face-to-face. Or did I? I thought, and so when I went to the convention, Gamehole Con, first kind of foray face-to-face, I'm like, where's my dice tray? And then I remember they're super awesome to like just grab and put somewhere and throw crap. Like a curio, whatever they call them. Like you put your wallet and your keys and all that stuff. Like they're perfect for that. So I have it in a corner closet, and I probably go in there. I go in there every day, not in that particular area, but I go in there every day and totally forgot it's in there. I had a big wooden octagonal one that I thought, oh, this is cool, big wooden one, yeah. So impractical to carry, like taking up dead space in a bag. And then I got the snapped one, and it's like, good to go. Accidental Rob says, my dice tray is a square snap corner one, red felt dragon imprint, glorious. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Wayne says his favorite gaming accessory is 2 fingers of Weller's bourbon, 1 large cue, lowball glass. All right. Wayne is a gaming persona in his own right. He's like the world's most adventurous man. Ryan West says Purple Sorcerer Tools for DCC. Booyah, can't go wrong with John Marr and the gang over there. Purple Sorcerer Tools. If you're playing DCC, you got to have that. M. Catron elaborates, square snappy one, blue and red with yellow trim, just like mine and my late favorite superhero, Superman. All right. Laramie Wall says, probably dry erase board and markers. Solid. Jason Weitzel, wet erase battle mat, 4x4, 2-sided, hex and square at the same time. Blake Ryan, GM OneNote, super great for organizing notes. Player, my handsome face. Cheers. Cheers. Good on you. Is this show live today? Prenzlau, you're live. You're live. Lou coming back to me on his index cards. 4x6 dotted if you got them. The only way to keep notes and organize and reorganize information. NPC hooks, items, spells. Booyah. There you go. Oh. Accidental Rob says, a new helpful accessory, and hear me out, ChatGPT. Are we going to get banned for talking about AI and RPGs? CJ Stott. Good to see you, CJ. Thanks for joining, man. Hope everything's good. It says moleskin. Is it moleskin? Moleskin notebooks. Love them. Yeah, those things are solid. They're great. Hey, you get them all kinds of sizes. I will challenge CJ. I need to know size, lined, gridded, size of the grid, how many pages, what color, does it have ribbons? Come on, lots of ones out there. Which is one of your go-tos? Laramie says, Sean, my wooden dice tray is the lid to my wooden dice box. Yeah, multifunctional. Laramie. Orcus Dorcas says, toss up between my generic customizable GM screens or my laminated maps, handouts, and other paper items to give them more permanence. Sure. I get that. Prenzlau, trying to butter up, says, I cannot knock Sean's dedication to his fans. Well, you could. Wayne is the gaming pro for sure. Chris S. says, my laptop does a lot of work for me. Some of my stuff's getting cut off. I'm driving me nuts here. Reference doc, makeshift DM screen. I also have my initiative off the top of the screen so everyone and me can see it. Yeah. Gotta have the laptops. Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood, good to see you. For all those that just joined, I'm asking what your favorite gaming accessory is. And if it's like index card, notebook, I need more info. Dice tray, I need more. I need more info on those little, like, why are they your favorite if they're index cards? Like, what's the size? Are they bulleted? Are they gridded? Are they lined? Can't just be dice tray. Now you can't use dice tray because somebody's already used it. Just kidding. What's your favorite gaming accessory? Could be as a game master or it could be as player. Accidental Rob says he'll elaborate on the ChatGPT. He says, stuck for a name, an adventure hook, a list of 20 things that an officer might do during downtime on a starship. Hit up the old chatbot. Good for a pinch. I mean, any like web accessible, right? Like tablet, laptop. I mean, how quickly it is. If you got an SRD, it's quicker to look up rules on an SRD on the internet than it is on a book. I swear. Shots fired. Laminator Sean, hey-yo. CJ gets back to me and says 5x8. 5x8.25. So these are inches, folks. 5 inches by 8.25 inches, lined, ribbon with a storage pocket at the back. I need the lines to keep handwriting legible. There you go. Red? Green? Did you say what color? Do you have different colors, CJ? Depends on the adventure and the game. Harrigan says, we'll comment on other great ideas first. I second index card. I use 4x6, 3x5 square and playing card size dot grid cards. There you go. Boom. Chris says, I do require people who have metal dice to have dice trays to roll into because scratching up my nice wooden table. Yeah, that should be a no-brainer, but you do have to kind of remind people. That's one reason I got the dice tray, honestly. Jeff's got this big kind of wooden table. his dining room table. And last thing I want to do is drop like a freaking 8-ounce D4 on that sucker. 8 ounce? 8 ounces is like fluids, right? Yeah, it's a measure of fluid. Volume, whatever. Half a pound. Let's see. Arrogant says, dice trays. Love both the felt kind. I just bought a Hex snappable one at Tacticon and my wooden tray that makes a lovely sound when the dice are rolled. I got to give the wooden ones that little hollow wooden sound when the dice hits. Mr. Hobbs's favorite accessory is Roll20. This stream not brought to you by Roll20. Victor White says, is it anyone going to say Trapper Keeper or am I too old? Trapper Keeper, I got two. I have two Trapper Keepers. I actually have one that used to be Jeff's with a kitty on it. Snap. A snap. It's got a snap on it. Try to find a Trapper Keeper with a snap on it. Good luck with it. Yeah, prior to that fancy Velcro stuff. CJ, Trapper Keepers are great. You can tell how far back I am. Accidental Rob says, I constantly have archives of Nethys open during Pathfinder 2e games. Ryan says, whoa, is Sean going to say D&D Beyond for his answer? He'll burn the chat down. Orcus Dorcas, yes on trays to protect the table and possible clipboards for sheets. My parents have a soft wood table and you can still see various stats and numbers carved into it from sharp pencils from the 90s. Yikes. Time to buy mom and dad a new table. Blake says laminated double-sided reference sheets are handy. Got the idea from Phil Vecchione. CJ says, I have different colors and covers. Lord of the Rings, TMNT, Game of Thrones, etc. eBay is awesome for picking them up at reasonable prices. Hot tip. Go metric. No. Give in to the imperialistic overlords. Lou says, I built dungeons one 3x3 sticky note at a time. Keep those with your index cards. I would say my dice tray, rectangular, red felt, snap corners. That's one. Second one I love to bring to conventions. And some of you have seen this. As a matter of fact, some of you played at my table at a convention. Somewhere in my travels, I came across this thing. And it's for a sit-stand desk, right? This is, put this in your backpack, go to a coffee shop, and if you're tired of sitting down all day, working remote from a coffee shop with your little computer laptop, it's got, right, planks, and this kind of, you slide each other in, and then it's like a lectern, like it stands on top. Some of you have seen me GMing at cons pictures with this thing in front of me. And I thought they were at one point, I think I mentioned this too, at one point I thought they were manufactured in the northern woods of Wisconsin, like the company's based out of there or something like that. And I actually messaged them and I said, I think you've got an untapped market that you are unaware of. And I actually got them in contact with, so Alex Cameron was like, what? I need one of those. Because he stands when he runs and he'd like something to set his stuff on. And he went and got one as well. And so I told the company, I'm like, I think you got an untapped market. You should probably come down to Gamehole Con, super cheap at the time, to just like have a booth and set those up and sell them. and it went nowhere. So I don't even know if they're still around. I cannot remember the name of the company. The Velcro strap that I had, kind of worn out, and it had the name of the company on it. But I don't know if they have a. That's another thing. You should probably like burn their brand into it. But yes, very handy, relatively light, and it's kind of Klingon, right? Like I could just need to paint it. So there you go. I'd set it up for you and, do a demonstration, but let's not get too crazy. I'm not going to bring out my dice tray and snap corners together. So we've got dice trays. Nobody uses dice tower? Nobody uses a dice tower? Harrigan iPad, gotcha. It's pretty good. Gabe says, I don't run in person anymore. I think I'm going to use my phone for my phone for adventure notes at Gamehole. Ah. I always kind of took you, Gabe, as kind of the spiral bound notebook kind of guy. Rip. Have all the fringy leftover paper in the spiral. Let's see. Index cards are awesome because you can make ad hoc table tents very quickly if you're at a game, especially a convention game. Jot stuff down. I do have a little box that I carry around with at conventions for index cards that I put in there too. Morning, William. Good to see you. We're talking about favorite gaming accessory that you have at the table. We've got, just to name a few, and yours can be one of them, of course. It's not, exclusive to one person, but there is, we've talked about index cards and the different sizes and the prints, also different colors for index cards too, by the way. They make them in different colors. Notebooks, different notebooks, dice trays. I get this lectern thing, stand, kind of assembles. I can put it on top of a table, put my computer on it or notebooks. What else? There are a lot of other ideas that people have thought up. Game mat, right? Double-sided game mat, hex and squares. Watch Sean read. That's probably why you don't tune in all the time, right, Hobbsies? Jeremy says, I think dice towers could be cool if you want a dice result to be secret from the players. I've had players who can't not act on their results. Dice towers are kind of cool because of the clanky clankies that it makes, right? And if you have it behind the screen, goes to Harrigan's like dropping dice into a wooden dice tray. You can hear the sound. I think the dice tower can bring a sense of suspense to the table. Like, hold on a second, drop it, clank, 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 clank. Huh, that's interesting. Wayne says he gets the most for sure out of his iPad. Yeah. David Serrano, good to see you, David. Can you unfold your accessory? Hard to imagine how it looks. I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can do it. It doesn't take too much time. Since there is one person in the chat that is interested in seeing this go, I will demonstrate. And I might have a different camera angle that I can shoot from that might give this kind of a... So first of all, I got to undo this Velcro that keeps them together. So okay, so there's 4 panels. 3 are the legs. So you kind of do, and they got the knobs at the top, right, where the bottom is flat. So this will go like this. So now, right, and then this one will go the opposite way. And you could stand on one of these. Like if you're over 150, 200 pounds, you could probably stand on this in a sole. So this is what it looks like. And then I put this if I can find, there's a couple slots on top. It's always easier if I have it sitting on a table. Let me see if I can move my keyboard here. All right, maybe this will work. Nope, what am I doing here? Can never line up my stuff. I can never put the top on. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll put the GM screen that I have in front, like around the front, and then down below, I'll have my dice, like kind of down here, maybe a notebook, notepad, right? And then I have stuff up here. Might have my laptop or tablet. There you go. Stand on it. Well, maybe. Okay, without like killing myself. Put too much weight on one side. So there you go. And then when you got to take off at the end of the game, you put it together. With these back into Klingon weapon mode. Put the Velcro around it. Good to go. I think I tried looking these guys up. I don't know if they're around anymore. And I got one of the wider ones. They come pretty, like they don't come with a full width. This one happens to be one where you could put a laptop on it and then a mouse pad off to the side because usually it's like cut off, like it's not as long. And then you got this little part. You can go onto Amazon if you're a stand-up gamer. I feel like I'm a stand-up type of guy, stand-up gamer. There's like ones I've seen on Amazon that, like if you're sitting at home in your bed and you were to eat like breakfast in bed, like a tray, but they're they tilt, so they've got arms on both sides, and then they tilt towards you or tilt flat. You can get those that are, and probably less expensive than these. This wasn't cheap for what it is, but it's pretty sturdy. Anyways, there you go. Show and tell, folks. Show and tell. Weird Frontiers will break that thing. Not a chance, man. Seriously, I weigh over, I'll say, 2 bills. I could stand on that, and it won't collapse. All right. There you go. Thanks for participating in today's interactive segment of the show. Should we get into some other RPG stuff? I don't know. Should we? Hey, all right. Now that I have y'all assembled, and it's like the first part of the show, do me a favor. Give it a like or a thumbs down. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have the bell hit. Because the bell, if I do go live, the bell will tell you. Heed the bell. Roger, did I say hello to you? You were one of the first ones that joined. Of course I did. Hey, are you enjoying the content? Why not give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already? Thanks, Roger. Roger's awesome. So we'll start from back too, like what's going on. I'm gonna start backwards a little bit for this stream. So because some people probably don't even know what happens at the end. We kicked off Star Trek Adventures. I think I mentioned that last week. Sessions 1 is going to be this Tuesday. I think we settled on a name for our ship? Question mark? I'm going to be playing a communications officer. I think we've got everything squared away. Going to be going into the beta quadrant for whatever it's worth. The original series. Gabe at the GM helm from Analytic Dice podcast. Go ahead and check it out. Orcus Dorcas has a podcast. Check it out. Jason Hobbs has a live stream. He just live streamed this past week. Check his Twitch channel out. Orcus Dorcas does YouTube and Titterpigs. Who else do I have for creatives in the chat right now that wants a little love? Gerald Thomas. Hey, Gerald, good to see you. Morning. So we'll see. What quadrant and what faction? Beta quadrant, what faction? Federation? So we're doing that. And I have session 0 I'll put out. I got to edit a couple things because obviously character generation, people kind of mulling that over is a little, some kinds of dead air, but I'll get to the good stuff, put that out. Kicked off Cyborg this past Thursday night with the Thursday night group. That's Kevin, Phil, Harrigan, and Wayne. Harrigan, Wayne in the chat. Board games. They just kill me. They're just over the top. So funny, I think. You just have to kind of grin at them, laugh, I don't know, cry maybe. They're just so fun. They're just so over the top, you know. I'm playing a ex-government. What is it? Harrigan's going to correct me. It's an ex-government guy. A government. Corpo. Ex-corpo. There's a class archetype. That's the ex-corpo. So basically you quit, get kicked out. We're in service of one of the corps. And if you've not read Rule 0 from Cyborg, you could break every rule in the game, it says, but one rule you cannot break is that you utterly loathe and you will never become friends with corpse cops, and what was the third thing? There's one more thing. Harry can help me out. Phil. No matter what, you may work, you may be in work for them or something like that, but make no mistake, they are the enemy. So, anyways, so Cyborg, we kicked it off like we did, you know, a quick little, hey, we got a target, we need the chip in his brain. So somebody hired us to do that. Very cool. If you're not familiar with the board games, there's Merkborg, Pirate Borg, Cyborg. I know there's probably like one more coming out, I think. Those are the big ones. And with Cyborg, and I've played Merkborg, I think it's the same resolution mechanics. It's basically a D20, target number, roll over, meet or exceed it, and the difficulties are like 6, 8, 12, 15, 20, whatever on the level, like the difficulty level. And it's essentially rolling a D20 plus, your attribute bonus if you have a modifier. And then if maybe you have like a piece of gear that gets you a plus. So it's not a ton of math, and pretty simple. It's got the spirit of the OSR in it. Lots of tables in those types of games to generate things. And even classes and archetypes, you typically would roll randomly on each table unless the game master's like, you can pick from each table. And you cannot be down with capitalists. Yes, capitalists, cops, and corpse. Like, that is the enemy. Pay no mind. Yes. Burning Wheel Gold. Oh, my God. Hobbs, you got Burning Wheel Gold? Oh, my God. That is hilarious. So that's that. There's talks of play-by-posts on the Discord. It's gotten a little buzz. I think Harrigan's going to step up, and I'm putting him on the spot, but he's going to maybe run a play-by-post for some of the crew. Game to be determined, but there's a good amount of interest, so much so that maybe there's 2 tables that need to be run for play-by-post. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw my hat in the ring and run a play-by-post. Got to get that the creative juices and the text, like the typey hands going. So we'll see. With me, it's always going to be like, what game? What should I run? And what does it look like? So he is maybe more than one. Oh, yeah, I suppose play-by-post, maybe Harrigan runs 2 games. So there's probably, and a few in the chat that are interested. So there's probably, I got to say, there was at least 7 players, 8, that were interested in giving it a whirl. I am interested, I wonder, Harrigan, if you ran the play-by-post and included everybody to see what happens. Because there's some folks are just going to fizzle out. Like, it's kind of inevitable. Maybe not. Maybe the crew that we have is just all fired up, and we'll see. And then Gamehole Con is just around the corner in October. Holy cow. I got to start prepping for some of my games. I don't have like a lot. And I got to get my pre-gens done for War Stories. I have 2 done. I got to probably go over the rules. I know the scenario a little bit. And I'll probably run that on either Thursday or Friday night. And then the other game I want to run is Feng Shui. I got to put a scenario together, probably a couple encounters, basic plot. And with that game, I have to find, I think I have it in PDF where I can just print the different archetypes, because in that game, I don't know if you guys know, you really don't generate your character. You pick an archetype that's already done. So if you play the pistol guy, the cop, the investigator, the martial artist, like, they're already done and their shtick's already in there. I think there might be a couple things you got to fill out, but otherwise you're pretty much playing pre-gens in that game anyway. And then, then I know where I want to set it. So it's going to be fun. And then I'll run that, Thursday or Friday night. So I have some takers for War Stories and Feng Shui. So I think Wayne Chang and Harrigan has expressed interest. Demon Grinder has expressed interest. So at least 2 players for War Stories and probably 2 players for Feng Shui 2. Yeah, Chris, you're in if you want to play. So Chris is coming. So there we go. Maybe 3 players. I think I'm going to limit the War Stories to at least 5, maybe like a 5-person limit. Maybe 6. I think maybe could pull it off in a World War II game. Feng Shui, probably 4, maybe 5. I have not run either, which is going to be super awesome. So I'll have to okay, we're here to learn all this. So if you're not familiar with War Stories, it's Year Zero engine and a pretty decent production value. So World War II, you're playing U.S. military. You could play a paratrooper, but the paratrooper is kind of like the paladin, right? You got to have certain stats meet to be a paratrooper. So if you're in a paratrooper, you got to have of your, I think it's 4 stats, 5 stats. You got to have 4, 4, 5, 4. I don't know if you can even have a 3 to go to paratrooper school. It's very life path generated. I almost want to do character gen at the table, but I don't want to, time. Probably wouldn't take a long time, but does have life path. Probably similar to Twilight 2000 if you're familiar with that game. The YZE version. So that's what's going on for gaming. So I wanted to bring up the play-by post because that's going to probably have some traction and that would be pretty cool. So Yep. Chris is bringing Streets of Avalon scenario to play in probably a Call of Cthulhu game. Very nice. Yes, and Harrigan's right. It's a Year Zero engine game, but it's not done by Free League. It's done by Firelock. And Firelock has done a lot of war games. They remind me of Osprey, right? Got these war games, miniatures, and then by the way, we did War Stories, the RPG. So that'll be fun. That I'm looking forward to. So there you go for gaming. All right, let's get into some things that have caught my attention this week, shall we? Shall we? We shall. And my buddy Jeff may show up Saturday at GameholeCon. We'll see. Accidental Rob, totally jazzed to run a Delta Green one-shot tomorrow. Have you run it before, Rob? All right, first one. Luke Gygax brings back Gary Gygax's Castle Zaggig. There was a Gary Con that I went to some time ago, before they're in their current venue. And they were talking about Castle Gygax and how it was never done. And some people had seen a few of the levels. And I think it's this, but I don't know for sure. And it's been the vaporware. It's like the Duke Nukem of RPGs, if you will. And I think this is it. I don't know. Some of you might know already. Or it's Castle Greyhawk. That's right, Blake. Did I say Castle Gygax? Great, Castle Greyhawk. Right. So I don't know if that is this. I think it is only because they can't use Greyhawk. So Gary's Castle Greyhawk was meant, I think he had run it. And the reason some of this has come to fruition is because there was some contesting of the will and some of Gary's stuff. Does Luke and Ernie have a right to some of his works, or does Gail, the widow, have the own, at that point, Gail had full reign of all of Gary's stuff. So here's a lesson to everybody. If you want to bestow things onto individuals, have a will and make it very clear. So I think Gary had a will. I think he had two. I think that was kind of like the kerfuffle, and did the second one that was done, was that legit? So that's where I think all this came into to kind of a pain and the craziness. And Gary was on his second marriage. Like, I'm telling you, it's just, I bring this up because who was I talking to recently about something? Might have been my mother, actually. And she, it's always a great conversation to have, right? Like, hey, when I'm gone, like, do this, do that. And I told her, because she has a significant other that she is not married to. And I said, you got to put that stuff in a will. You have to, at least in the U.S. I don't know about any other countries. Like, I am not a lawyer, but just get a will. If you got game books and you want your buddies to have it, put it in a will. Because what's going to happen is they're going to go, everything, if you don't have a will, goes to your next of kin. Like in the U.S., there's no choice. Now, if you have an executor and they're like, you know what, I don't want all these game books and I'm next of kin, I'm just going to give them to his or her friends, then great. But anyways, this is my public service announcement. But apparently things have been freed up a little bit. So they're planning 3 products. The second one is being the Hermit, which is followed up by Gygaxian Fantasy Worlds series. So we'll see what this looks like. The book uses Castles and Crusades as its system. You can get the 7th edition Player's Handbook for free for Castles and Crusades, by the way. So if you're interested in that, head over to Trollord Games. You can find it there. So yeah, interesting. I don't know. If you pre-order the Yigsberg book, you will get a PDF and a DocX with conversion notes to D&D 5e. The book, as it was in 2008, and they currently intend to leave it that way, other than updating the PDF via software and change the logo on the cover and the product number on the spine. I think I should probably start from scratch at the beginning of this. So it's available for pre-order now. It was written by Gary Gygax and first published by Trollord Games in 2005 and dropped from publication in 2008. So I think like Gary was still alive, right? In 2005, and then 2008, I'm sure there were some rights details, and that's probably why it got dropped, is my speculation. And now it is available now in pre-order, and the intent to ship in September or October. There you go. Okay. All right. So there you go. I don't know if I'll get it. I mean, I respect Gary. I don't need all of his stuff, and some of his stuff I'm not a big fan of. But that's okay. If you are, you're going to be all over this. Let us know how it is. The Trouble Engine. Have you guys used the Trouble Engine? Do you guys know what the Trouble Engine is? The Trouble Engine for Forged in the Dark, it's a Creative Commons license. Now, I'm kind of getting mixed results, mixed kind of feelings, thoughts from the title of this, because I'm not sure it's necessarily Forged in the Dark. I think it's a derivative of it. Well, I guess would make it Forged in the Dark, right? It's not Blades in the Dark. So anyways, the Dark A-State RPG from Handiwork is set in a Baroque urban nightmare and is a Forged in the Dark game and uses the Trouble Engine. Following? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down here? The Trouble Engine is A-State. I think that's how you pronounce that game, right? A-Pipe State. Is a system that creates problems for the PCs, aiding and assisting the game master. Today, Handiwork Games, who published the RPG, announced they'll offer a Creative Commons license for the system. So if you haven't tried it, something to look into. If you have tried it, then Creative Commons license is on the horizon. The decision to release the Trouble engine was prompted by requests to Handiwork Games for permission to use the system in other, I cannot read today, Forged in the Dark games, and permission was needed as it's not part of the Forged in the Dark license. So kudos to them for, here's the official site and announcement of what it is. There are some things I think that they are, is it this one? No, it's something else. So anyways, there is an SRD. So they're making the Trouble Engine SRD available for you to use in your published games. The contents of the SRD available for under the Creative Commons Attribution CC BY license. And then there's some rules that they put down. Hey, could you please do this if you do it, if you do use this? So yeah, defining the Trouble engine. What is the Trouble? What is it? For the purposes of this agreement, the Trouble engine comprises the rules and mechanics which first appeared on these pages in A state. It's not going to give me a lot of details, so just look at the reference doc. Yeah, so there's really not a lot in here that gives you a lot of details. So check out the SRD. It's on the Handiwork Games link that I just put in the chat. Interested to take a look at what it all involves. Has anybody played that A state or know of that system? Sounds like it just keeps throwing things in front of. I don't know. I'm like speculating, but if it helps the GM create problems for the players, it just sounds like something that kind of can keep coming up and up, and you just kind of throw it in front of the players and see how they overcome them. I'm sure it's much more interesting than that, though. Sanction engine. Have you guys used the Sanction RPG engine? No? It's getting quiet in that chat. Crazy monkeys. You crazy monkeys. So, Sanction RPG engine, a first look at the settings and goals. So, it's the same system that runs Paul Baldowski's The D-Sanction. Tim, good to see you, buddy. Played the original once, not bad for its time. So Baldowski is author of the popular system, the Cthulhu Hack. So if you don't know, if you're not connecting all the dots, maybe that helps. Which is currently discounted in Drive-Thru's Cosmic Horror Sale as of August 27th, 2023. So the D-Sanction, he told me he'd been noticing people using the D-Sanction to run Cosmic Horror games, noir games, and many others. And so as a result, Paul and All Rolled Up will be taking Sanction to Kickstarter to fund a system book for a core generic RPG you can wrap around any genre. The agency intrigues me. As a genre, I don't know if it's going to be like the rules are going to be like what I want, but so the agency is a lo-fi espionage and dysfunctional intelligence operatives wage a secret war against enemies too dark or obscure for the public face of espionage to handle. It's an off-the-books spy setting. And it's funded at £4,000. So I don't know. These had Kickstarters already? I don't know. And are they all separate? Thruster Gold, with the Overlord defeated with the hero gone, chaos reigns amongst the factious rebels, and only your gaggle of mismatched minions can handle the battle against factious rebels attempting to fill the power vacuum, a pulp setting. So that's Thruster Gold. Safety Lies in Fear, prequel to the D-Sanction, which is Henry VIII shattered the monastic network of Catholicism in England and took the wealth and power for his own. But much remains buried for the treasure seekers and scavengers, and something dangerous lies in wait. And then in the midst of shades is the enlightened age of science, industry, and expansion under the benevolent patronage of Queen Victoria. You are vilified, disproven, and ridiculed members of the Ghost Society, and there's something strange afoot in this. Is this an invasion from beyond, a setting of Victorian supernatural investigation, funded at £10,000? So there you go. See you, Laramie. Orcus Dorcas kind of chimes in. D-section's a lot of fun. Sweet. Sold. Orcus, if it's Orcus Dorcas says it's fun, I guess I'm buying it. Harrigan says, have D-sanction, have not read. Love Paul B's work. So, good. Two thumbs up so far. The agency sounds intriguing, indeed. Wayne says, D-sanction is really cool. Third. Number 3 thumbs up. Didn't it win some awards? D-sanction? I don't know. Accidental Rob, sorry, I'm watching the stream and playing Starfield. Okay, Rob, moving forward, don't tell me that you're doing anything else but watching and listening to the stream. And if you are doing something else, don't say it. You know what that... I'm not going to go in on Rob. Rob's a good guy. All right, Rob. Fair enough, buddy. He's just letting me know why he's not chatting. That's why. Playing Starfield. Okay. So, sanction. Yeah, I might have to look into that. Orcus Dorcas, I give D-sanction my unprofessional unboxing seal of approval. Well, that's all I need. That's all I was looking for. Like, does it have that seal of approval on there? All right, so I just posted this in our Discord. I just got done buying something on eBay. You guys might like it. It's 1970. Where'd it go? It end. Well, I know it ended, but why did you guys? I can't see it now. Come on, dudes. Now I can't access it. Jeez, booger. It keeps disappearing. So what Sean did was I screenshot it. Quick enough. So maybe I can get this on the screen. Dirty buggers, man. Let's see if I can. Here it is. There you go. So, can you? Yeah, you guys can hear me. So, a first edition, first print, 1977 with artist autographs monster manual sold for $26,678 on eBay. There you go. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that. So there you go. I'm gonna be using that. Probably rip some of the pages out and so I could. They're easily accessible. 26 grand. Wowzers. Makes you want to go out and do garage sales, doesn't it, folks? Excellent, Rob. My eyes are locked in your eyes. Stream only, Sean. There you go. Thanks, Rob. Tim says, I have some more old hardcovers for you at $26,000 a piece if you're interested. Wow. But are they signed by the artists? You could buy Lake Superior for that? Whoa. Shots fired from Aussie Town. Wait, how much for shipping? $7.53. If you really must know. $7 US, 53 cents economy shipping. From Omaha. $7.53. Get it while it's hot. I like the hobby, but 26,000, ridiculous. Salt Heart lying in the weeds. Just got to hit the right subject matter to get these guys to chime in. Boom. I know the button to push for Salt Heart. It's high dollar eBay RPG items. Jason, make sure you write that one into your will, Sean. That is indeed a good tip. Good tip. For $26K, I expect free shipping. Shit, for $26K, I expect somebody to like hand deliver it from the seller. Might want to insure it. Economy shipping. It's like tracking code even. No tracking code. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just going to throw this up there, see what happens. 26 grand. Tiffany, good to see you. First edition of Deities and Demigods is still a solid retirement plan. Yeah. 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 So there you go, kids. There you go. There you go. 26 grand. Sure. Sounds good. Let's see. Let's see. Should we go to crowdfunding? Should we check on what the heavy hitters are at? Like they're almost wrapping up soon, I'm sure. The RPG crowdfunding news. I don't even know if it's late enough that EN World would put some of these on there. I'm sure Moria isn't even listed. Who got in on Moria? That's a beast. Last time I checked, it was like $700,000 and like 9,000 backers. Dolmenwood. This ends September 8th, kids. So if you want to get it while it's hot. That's 6 days from this recording if you haven't gotten in on the Dolmenwood Kickstarter. Most popular pledges, 95 bones. It's at $1.2 million, in case you lost track. $1.2 million. Congratulations, Gavin Norman and the Necrotic Gnome and Exalted Funeral team. Booyah. I'm sure it's going to deliver on time. What is the delivery time? I don't even know. Should we find out? It's like as soon as this thing ends, we're going to be looking at our watches. Mr. Panther 54. Full disclosure, I got in on Dolmenwood. Shit, I just caved. It's going to be good. It'll be good. Whether it's going to be for me is to be seen. But it'll be good, and I'll define that. The look, the feel, the layout, the presentation, the organization, I think is going to be pretty solid. I got in on, I think, the slipcase, maybe, and the 3 books. I don't think I got, and I think I pledged early enough where if you pledged early enough, I think you got the cloth map, if I'm not mistaken, or a map. So, and I think there's one with much more, like there's a soundtrack for this. Yeah. And it, if you're not familiar with Dolmenwood, Gavin Norman put out OSE, Old School Essentials, based on Basic and Expert. Relayed it out, revamped some of the verbiage. There's an SRD out there that you can use, and it mimics the books and the layout and everything. So if you like BX, D&D Basic and Expert, OSE is a no-brainer. There is also advanced tomes for OSE that brings in a few more classes, a couple other things that weren't in BX. So it just depends on what version you get. And then the default setting that Gavin has always kind of set his modules and things of that nature, as far as I know, has been Dolmenwood. So there are individual adventures that are based in Dolmenwood. And so he's putting out the whole setting, player's campaign, monster book for the setting, and it's not using default OSE rules. So it's based on OSE, probably with a couple tweaks here and there. So it is its own game and setting. So everybody's clear. Are we clear? Is everybody clear? All right. So make sure. So there you go. It's going to finish up at what? 1. If it's at 1.2 at a $200,000 goal, it's probably going to finish up at 6 days to go. You know, can it raise another 30,000? So 1,250 or 1,250,000. Shadow the Weird Wizard is also on its last week. Ends Thursday, September 7th. It is funded. The now most popular pledge, I did not know this, of Shadow the Weird Wizard is $99. So I think sometimes when you compare like one Kickstarter to the other, who's making more money? Well, it's all relative, right? What's like the average? What are the packages broken down into, and how many backers do you have? You know. So for example, I could hit a million Kickstarter, $1 million Kickstarter, if like 10 of you guys put in like 100,000 each, right? Like I think we'd be good. That's right, math. So let's do this. Weird Wizard, $336,000. Rob was shooting for 30. Four days to go. End September 7th, 2023. Who got in on Weird Wizard? Orcus Dorcas says, I backed it. He's referring to Dolmenwood, but I have been second guessing it. I just don't like the idea it's a new system and all I will be doing is mining it for OSE. Yeah. I like the openness of what has been conveyed. Openness as in it's like, you know, go explore it. The Dolmenwood. Orcus Dorcas says, Schwab. Titterpig's interview with Rob just dropped. He's a fantastic and fascinating guy. I'd like to hear that. I always like listening to the shows Rob's on. He is a no bullshit kind of guy. Orcus is 100% with Weird Wizard. I did not get on Weird Wizard. I also don't play Shadow the Demon Lord, although I have bought a bundle. I've never played Shadow the Demon Lord. I think Shadow the Demon Lord for me is going to be the Titanic movie for me, right? Like, I don't know if you guys, like, when the Titanic came up, like, there are some things in cultures that I have not jumped on the bandwagon with. So when Pulp Fiction came out, it, like, took it to be on video for me to see it the first time. When I knew people that had seen that movie like 6 times in the movie theater, they thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't know what the appeal is. Okay. And saying like Titanic was another one. Avatar I did see in the theater, but I did not see Titanic. As a matter of fact, I've never seen it. So not that Shadow of the Demon Lord is, maybe it's as big, but there's a lot of people that like Shadow of the Demon Lord, and I have never played it. Is that going to be one of my, like, what? You've never seen Titanic? What? You've never played Shadow of the Demon Lord? Oh, Ryan, I'll give you the links. Sorry, buddy. Don't mind the reminder. Thank you. So, it's funded. Lots of freaking stretch goals. Rob's for the last week. What is he going to? Will he hit 400? Maybe will he hit 350? Will he hit 350? There is a possibility with the Weird Wizard that it may do better in retail. If the backers get it and they're fans of Shadow of the Demon Lord, and then they try to pitch it to their friends and say, yeah, it's by the same guy who did Shadow of the Demon Lord, or somebody finds that out, but they say, no, it's not, you know, as grungy, dirty, gritty as Shadow of the Demon Lord, right? They're clean wizards. Gabe, I've never played Shadow of the Demon Lord. Gabe and I put our stakes in the ground. We have our own little group. Victor says, I'm in the boat with you, Sean, about Shadow of the Demon Lord. Oh, you haven't played it, Victor? there's a lot of people that say it's like great. It's great rules. It's 10, a 10 type session arc and you're done. Like there's no, like that's what the campaign is supposed to be about. Jason says the $50 difference between PDF and print tiers held me back on Weird Wizard. Interesting, the science of pricing. Yeah. Ryan says, Sean, you're fine not seeing Titanic. Parody of it in pop culture. You're probably picked up all the highlights anyway. Yeah. Tiffany Reynolds, not my cup of beer either. Yeah. But I like Rob. I respect him as a designer. And maybe I should just give him like $5 for like supporting him. I think plenty of people haven't played Shadow of the Demon Lord. Really? Jason says 100% agree. Weird Wizard will get second legs once it's in retail. I agree. I think that's where Rob will bank it. Now, I will say, Dolmenwood, I mean, that, like, this may be the biggest turnout. Like, this may be like, hey, I did $1.3 million in Kickstarter, got everybody their stuff, and that's everybody. Like, that's the audience. I think I'm being a little more cynical, but it could be like if it's really big in the OSR space and everybody knows it from OSE and Gavin and Necrotic Gnome and Exalted Funeral, and they're just tuned into that space and they're the ones with disposable income and they get in on Dolmenwood, like, take my money, here's $95, ship it to me ASAP, I want this stuff, it's great. It may be where the bigger chunk of people that would be interested in it have already bought it. Where Rob's might be like probably like quite a few diehards. And then it could get some traction. I don't know. But is it a competition? If you ask friendly local game stores, they're not competing against each other. At least that seems to be my part of my like head scratching, but dude, I don't care who you are. They're competing with each other. Are they? Are they, Sean? Well, I don't know. They're competing for time and money. If I don't, although somebody would say they're not competing with each other because they're two different audiences. Yeah, the Dolmenwood system shouldn't turn anyone off. It's OSR. It's all compatible. Agreed. Harrigan says the not my cup of beer thing is why Weird Wizard is a thing. For sure. I agree. His books are loaded with creativity and good ideas. Orcus Dorcas says, for some reason, hateful deification spells turn people off. Go figure. Wayne says to Orcus, I've seen the early proofs of Dolmenwood, so we can discuss elsewhere, but 99% of the differences has to do with the classes and crafted spell lists, new fairy magics, etc. Very compatible in addressing the not really OSR and changing its system a little bit. Good info. Thanks, Wayne. Oh, Chris says, Rob said he made more than he expected from Shadow of the Weird Wizard. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear Rob is satisfied with that because I think people are probably scrutinizing that Kickstarter. Like, I was talking to somebody about that, and I'm like, I didn't kick in. It's not I haven't played Shadow of the Demon Lord, another Weird Wizard, but Sean, I'm fantasy, should I get another fantasy RPG? I've been on that fence for a while, but then people will be like, Sean, you picked up Dolmenwood, what's up with that? Yep, guilty. But Rob's been around, like, not that, and I'm not comparing, but Rob's a good designer and he's been around for a while and he's seen a lot of stuff and he's worked on a lot of stuff. And I'm sure Shadow of the Demon Lord is top notch in quality and presentation and production value and all that stuff. Got it. it's not my genre, or I don't know. I don't know why I haven't looked at it. And then on the flip side, somebody could say, well, if that's not your cup of tea, now he's putting out Weird Wizard. You don't have to worry about your character being covered in mud. Like, necessarily. Like it's a cleaner game? I don't know. So, going back to his $336,000, if Rob is surprised at that, good, because then he had lower expectations. I would have thought it would have been higher, but I mean, 336,000, 350,000 is nothing to balk at. And, comparing to like MCDM, kind of to some degree, right? Matt Colville, like, exceeding $1 million on at least 2 Kickstarters, right? 3? I think he's above 3. That's not mud. You know what I'm talking about. So anyways, it just is just very interesting in the dynamics. Like, I think, because Matt's got a good following, Colville, MCDM, he's got a big YouTube following. Like, there is some, if you look at some of these things, you're trying to figure out, like, well, why would, Dahlman would get like $1.2 million and Shadow of the Weird Wizard get 336,000. What's the differences? And some people have spit it out in the chat before. It's like marketing. Like why did Matt Colville get, $1 million Kickstarters? Now, Matt's worked in the industry. He's worked in the hobby, but, like up until MCDM was brought to my attention in his videos on YouTube, I didn't know that. I didn't know he worked in the hobby until like late. But we know, like, some of us, Robin D. Laws, Ken Hite, Rob Schwab, insert designer person that's, popular in the hobby. So is there something that's changing where, like, Rob needs to have a YouTube channel? I don't know. Morning, Michael. Blake, take off. See you, Blake. Thanks. You might have already been gone. Just marketing. Yeah, it's just marketing. Just marketing. That's all. The Master Your Game series, I went over this a while ago. It's $289,000. $30 for all the PDFs and all 3 books. I mentioned maybe kicking in for this. I haven't yet. I'd be interested to just know some of the details. I think they're even advertising on Instagram with some ad about, doing, especially like the preparation. I'm just interested. It's got 5 days to go, fully funded. So yeah, there you go. And it's coming from the best known GMs in the industry, which I wonder about, because I think Cobalt Press did a similar anthology, but maybe it's, that was like game mastering and essays, like, from different people. I don't know. Anyways, Fire and Ice, I know maybe 1 or 2 of you got in on this. Miniatures adventure game. That's funded at $92K. Enclave table lists. This is the table list. You can't play this on a table. There's no table involved. Got funded. It's an original system. It's truly diceless. No dice, cards, or other randomizing agent in play. Instead, there's character creation and rules, but the driving force is player engagement. Based on the campaign page, if you roleplay it and it makes sense, it happens. You have a character class, you have some areas where you're more likely to succeed, but ultimately it seems like the idea is the more you put in, the more you get out. In terms of setting, this is a fantasy RPG. You're part of the Enclave, a world-spanning organization on a mission. If you want to try randomization removed RPG, this may be of interest. So my question to you, kids, Is this a game? Is this a game? Ty Pronti, good to see you. Is this a game? What do you mean, Sean? Well, if you take away dice, cards, randomizing things, is it just collaborative storytelling? And is that a game? Black Eights? No. This is no. He or she says no. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. If we sat around, well, because I'm thinking about Kingdom, right? By Ben. We don't use randomizers in that either, but there's cards, I think. You're backing Enclave, Ty? No, it's a writer's room. Bob. Good to see you, Bob. Good to see you. Thanks for clearing that up. Good to see you, man. Thanks for showing up. Enclave sounds like an activity, but that's fine too. I'm not. So don't mistake in my comment to say that it's better or worse. But I'm just trying to be a little devil's advocate. It is like tabletop improvisational role playing. Says agree with Jason. Tiffany, is the core activity repeated? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about it. I mean, Amber's diceless. It's a role-playing game, but I think it has methods of resolution. Like to this, I have to know more. Like, do we just sit down and go, hey, here's kind of the scene. Your turn. Okay, I get to do this. Okay, cool, that happens. Who else wants to go? You go. Okay. It's funded. She get maybe the PDF? All right, what's this one? Our family plays games. Growing our family plays games 2023 tabletop streaming series. So they're funding for streaming. Funded 28,000, 26,000, 30,000 to 26,000 goal. Wow. Streaming series in which hosts play and review board games as well as talk to a diverse set of creators. Yes, this is RPG adjacent as the series discusses tabletop board games, not RPGs. So if you're a board gamer and you want to check this out, great. If you're not a board gamer and you're interested in board games, check it out. Dudes, I am missing the boat. Why am I not crowdfunding my stuff? What am I doing here? I could have earned 30 grand. Probably not. It's because I suck. Quick starter campaigns. Quick starters are short crowdfunding campaigns, and I don't get a chance to cover that many. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Quick starter, not Kickstarter. Quick starter. Play on words. Interesting. Combat Banes and Boons, Unforgettable Crits and Fantasy RPGs by Philip Reed Games. Philip Reed always putting out stuff. I kicked in one of his crowdfunding efforts, and now I'm getting anything he does. I'm like, you should back another one for Philip Reed Games. So there you go. Check that out. $250 goal. He's hitting $3 grand. Philip Reed's got a nice little thing going on. And I don't mean that little. He could be making tons of money off of stuff. So success nonetheless. Castle Vordenarok, Limitless Adventures, 5th edition. Goal of $250. It's at $2,900. Do you need a castle? One that can be used for adventures, a base, or just a recurring location? Well, there you go. Delver, OSC, Delver issue number 2, zine, right? It's a zine, $11. Look at this thing, $2 grand. It's funded at 10. Also, it's on number 10. Like, this Delver's been around, right? Like, it's tried and true. People appreciate it. I'm sure, like, the first one wasn't at 10 grand. So, something to be said about putting out a good product, getting good feedback, putting out another one that's probably pretty good. The value is there. People see the value in it. Closet of the Eye Wizard from Planet X Games. There you go. For DCC, compatible with DCC. I covered this early, like before. Planet X is going to be at Gamehole Con. I'm going to say hello. Morning, Eileen. You'd spend the crowdfunding on a signed monster manual. I call that an investment, Orcus Dorcas. Ty says, I have been in a few Fate games where dice were not used because the players were so good they did not need to roll the dice. Is it good when players don't have to roll? I mean, that's like a type of play, type of style of play, right? Amber Diceless is the game Fate is based on? It is? I thought Fate was based on Fudge. And Fudge is based on Amber? I'm confused. Help me clear that up. I could have swore Fate was based on Fudge. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. I will admit I'm wrong. I am not above being wrong. There, you heard it. It's recorded. It's on the internet forever. And then Puzzling Encounters by Ian World. That's funded. 16,000 pounds of a 1,000-pound goal. Shadow Dark. Arcane Library for Shadow Dark. So supplement for Shadow Dark. Want to make some money? Maybe tie your wagon to Shadow Dark. I don't know how much third-party support it's gotten, but Fudge equals Fate. Yeah, Fate has nothing to do with Amber. That's what I thought. Am I wrong? Yeah. You never heard of Fudge, Ty? Oh, you gotta look into Fudge, my friend. They use the dice system from Fudge, but Fate is Amber Diceless. Oh boy. Really? Huh. That is the first time I've heard of that. I did not know that Fudge is derived from Amber Diceless. I'm getting the crowdfunding sweats, too much temptation, too little money, too little time to manage the pledge obligations and re-out the shipping to hide delivery from my wife. Jason, come on. Get yourself together, for Pete's sakes. Come on. Come on, man. Get in there and start throwing your credit card into those forms. You carry the fire for Shadow Dark. $11,000 of a $500 goal. Wowee. Ah. They put the dice in there because people like rolling dice? That's that simple? That was the design decision? People like rolling dice, will put it in there. What? Get it out of here. It's serious? It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Swamp Lights of Eristes. 4 5e OSR Shadow Dark and Pathfinder. $2 for a PDF. Designed for 5th to 7th level. $100 goal. $100 goal got 2,000. Funded in 10 minutes. Unnatural Selection, The Untamed and the Underworld. This is going to be funded. Watch this. This is going to be blown out of the water. No, what? Where is it? Unnatural selection. Backer kit. Watch. You watch. I'm going to tell you why I know that this has been blown out of the water. First of all, it says funded in 10 minutes. But aside from that, okay, because it could be like a $500 goal. But I'm going to tell you why it's blown out, okay? Whoever did this, Dungeon Damsel Creations, I'm going to tell you why. This backer kit, $73,000. So maybe Dungeon Damsel Creations could be her. Like, people know her. She's done good work. She is not the one from behind Shadow Dark, right? Am I wrong? Help me out, guys. Anyways, the reason I said that is because look at that trade dress. It looks like it's a Shadow Dark product. I'm like, oh, that's got to be Shadow Dark. I bought Shadow Dark and it was like $1 million. I'm going to get this. 1,200 backers. 1,200 backers, $73,000. Look at that. That is fantastic. And on backer kit. Can you imagine if that was on Kickstarter? No knock on backer kit, but come on. To 120 pages of new classes, ancestries, weapons, spells, untamed beasts, underworld oddities, magic items, adventures, and other enhancements while maintaining and expanding the core of the old school Renaissance. Like, if you hitch your wagon to Shadow Dark and you make the product look like an official Shadow Dark product and you do it well enough to like as long as it's consistent, like the quality's got to be there, obviously, you're going to probably hit some home runs with this stuff. And the artwork, come on. There she is there. Oh, those guys look so happy. Oh, Shadow Dark. Yeah, it is she. Okay, so the person that I have to know Kelsey. Like, I just got to get her name down. I'm not doing her any justice. So Kelsey Dion is the creator of Shadow Dark. And that's the woman here in this page, right there in the forefront. So this is another female creator for Shadow Dark. Looks fantastic. Like, if you're a Shadow Dark person, like, you would just kick in for this, right? Like, take my money. Like, it's themed. It's bravo to Dungeon Damsel Creations. It's gonna complement the book really well. You guys know about this one? Sean, can you put the link in the chat? As Ryan already chimed in. And I think that is it for the crowdfunding details of the week. What else is new? I don't think there's much else that I was like super duper crazy blown out of the water must like talk about. What? This might be interesting. What is this? Oh. Freelance writers, 1,100 people, anonymous, chimed in on the rates that they get paid for freelancing. The more you know. Ian World conducted a survey of freelance writers in the tabletop gaming industry to determine the current rates for writing for an RPG. You know, if I had a lot of money, like screw off money, I would probably hire some independent research firms to do some of this work. And the only reason is because, not to take anything away from Ian World, but it's Ian World. So if Ian World's doing a survey, you're going to have a swing to people that probably know who Ian World is. So if you get an independent resource like, hey, we're Chamberlain Research or whatever, and we're conducting, calling 1,000 people to talk about freelance writers. I don't know if that would make it more accurate, but there's so many things that go into this stuff, right? That could skew these. But nonetheless, they put it out here. It was in 2015. They put it out originally. And then recently I put out another pair of surveys intended to update that information to current rates. It did not ask respondents to identify themselves or the companies they worked for, although I optionally asked them to categorize the type of publisher. They had over 1,000 respondents. So that's another thing too, right? Like, can you tell us, like, I think gathering the info, like who do you do it for and who are you, but keeping that anonymous may be better. But anyways, regardless, company size, medium is 32%, large is 14%, single companies 15%. Definitions. They define what these sizes mean. Leader is 13.6. So a leader is bigger than large. So that's like WotC or Paizo size. Time in the industry. So a majority of the people that are a freelancer and took part in the survey are 1 to 5 years. It's a pretty good amount. Time in the industry. What does that mean, though? Does that mean, so if it's aside from age, right? It's not based on age. So if Sean decides to be a freelancer now, my time in the industry would be 1 year, right? 1 to 5. So in the last 5 years, interesting. Michael says, Google is presenting me with numerous references to the Tales of Fate evolving from Fred's Amber game he ran for the Evil Hat folks. And I just found an Ask Me Anything by Fred Hicks that talks about it. He and his players wanted dice for their Amber game, so they added fudge, basically. Huh. Well, to some of that logic, then, aren't we all playing Tiny Wars? Or D&D? So Fred ran an Amber game and decided to inject dice into it. I don't know, man. That to me is a stretch. Don't be like that. What do you mean? It's a direct evolution? Is it? I don't know. To 10 years since the start of 5e boom accounts for 50% of the freelancers. Yeah. Probably. Well, right. And if you go to like leader, 13%. And then the medium are probably like the Cobalt presses, probably, right? Doing still 5e-ish. The mechanics are almost the same. Are they? I don't know. Amber and Fudge and Fate. Huh. The more you know. The more you know. So anyways, freelance writers, the mean rate for writers was 8.5 cents per word. The mode is 10 cents per word. So in 2015, the mean rate was about 3 cents per word. However, that was a much smaller data set. So based on published word rates for a couple of dozen companies, 3 cents a word, wow. The highest with a single occurrence is 40 cents per word. And the lowest, excluding unpaid work, is under 1 cent per word. And they say MCDM pays the most. that we know of. Like they're very open about what they pay their contributors. And this is the company size by time and industry. Wait a minute. What? Didn't they go what? Up here? Isn't it something? Time and industry. The most is 36, 1 to 5. So down here. Oh, word rate. I gotcha. Word rate and time and industry. So the longer you've been in the industry, the more you make per word. Got it. Derp. Note that time and industry was only reported by 50% of the respondents. Huh. I wonder why that is. The person who put out Amber has been gone. What's his name? But I thought somebody else was picking it up. Lords of Gossamer was right. But I think they were picking up the reins, right? Freelance writers, work for hire, some of the details. So if you want to check this out, I'm not going to go, oh, this is the speculation, conjecture, but it is interesting. And notes by size. Kind of sum up some things. Okay. The lesson is medium. Huh. Anyways, we'll analyze the crap out of that stuff. Anybody interested in becoming a freelancer? Look at that stuff. So this is the thing about freelancer rates. And it's like what you get paid. So you should know what you're worth. And if you know some of those details, now you can say why you deserve more money. Like I was talking to somebody, I mean, that's my business. So when I was talking to somebody and they're like, I'm like, what are you looking at for salary? And they say $80,000 a year. And I go, okay, where are you at right now? And they say, I'm making $60,000. And I go, okay. And I look and I say, you got 2 years. You're kind of doing a full-fledged development job, but kind of not. You're doing more support, but you're involved with code. How are you getting $80,000? Well, I've done research. Like, what research? Where are you going? Where are you finding this info? Because pulling your salary out of your ass, like, no. You could certainly ask for it. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. But if you know what your worth is and you have like, look, you're going to pay me 10 cents a word. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been in the industry for 10. I've been free, I've worked on this project and this project. And, oh, by the way, I don't miss deadlines. Here's 5 references. Check them. That's why I get premium dollar. And you should demand it. But you got to have some details to back it up. Now, having said that, I will say you got to make a living wage, right? But you still got to do good work. So it's good that bravo to Ian World for putting it out there and getting some details so people are more informed on what they should be getting paid in the industry. Now you know what to kind of compare yourself to. And if you don't want to make top dollar because maybe it's a particular project that you like, ooh, I want to work with that company. I haven't been able to. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit off the top in order to do that, boost up my resume so I can slingshot myself over that hump. It's all personal choices. So there you go. There you go. Print news. Right at the buzzer here. Print news. Garden of Corda, Beyond the Silver Screen, Distress Signals by Space Penguin Inc. Is this Forrest? Did he do these? I know he did Beyond the Silver Screen. Yeah. Well, his name's on Beyond the Silver Screen. Did he do the other two? Or is just Space Penguin Inc. like he did it. Because I think I have Beyond the Silver Screen. That's Forrest. He's local. But I don't know if he did the other two. Regardless, check it out. $15 each. Softcover supplements. Booyah. Winds of Magic Collector's Edition, Cubicle 7. They have a sale right now on Cubicle 7's website. So if you are a fantasy Warhammer role-playing game freak, you will want to check out their sale. I think it's all Warhammer. Age of Sigmar, all that stuff. So check it out. Power Rangers miniature set number 2 is out. Miniatures. Sima by Gallant Knight Games. Or Sima. PC's adventure in a world where a fallen monolithic church has left a power void that petty kings and tyrants struggle to fill. Rules light based on Breathless. Is this an Alan Barr product? You know, Harrigan? I'm kind of soured off after Cold Shadows. Medieval Marginagerie, Volume 2, Marge Harder. All rolled up. Softcover supplement for OSR. Features 6 more fanciful, fantastical beasts wrangled from the margins. Doubtful background, questionable research material, and stats. Suggested hooks, tables for signs, spores, and interesting things to find in the body of the dead. Teenage Mutant Dirtbags by Fat Goblin Games. Unique softcover rulebook, unique system. PCs are Teenage Mutant humanoid animals. Raised by zealots and trained as warriors to stop whatever weird crap the world might be brewing up. That's interesting. It might have some legs. Has anybody ever done that before? The PCs want to binge TV and argue movie fandom, eat fast food and all that junk, and smoke weed and sleep till noon. The PCs either indulge or save the world, depending on the day. Wow, okay. Deviant, the Renegade Storyteller Screen, Onyx Path Publishing. GM Screen, there you go. Old Gods of Appalachia, Player's Guide by MCG. Softcover supplement, that's out. Cipher System, I know there's tons of Cipher System people out there. Harrigan's a Cipher System freak. Like that guy, I think he bought their entire library the other day. He was so enamored with Cipher System. So if you have any Cipher System questions, please direct them to Harrigan in the chat. You can find him on our Discord as well. So, sorry it stepped away. His son just arrived from home from college. Say hi to your son for us. Darn it. What's going on? What am I missing here? Gabe Dibbing chimed in. I want to get Gabe. Anytime Gabe talks, I listen. As a freelancer, I expect deciding how much time you've been there is difficult and subjective. I agree. That's what I would like to know. That's why it's like researcher surveys. Like, how do we do this? Like, let's see. Ty's never heard of Amber before? Now? Oh, you got to go look that up, buddy. Now you got to be going to, you better go to the roots. I don't think it's a cut and dry thing in that AMA. Fred does talk about the influence Amber had on Fate. He also mentioned his desire to do an Amber game. But the Zelensky estate is a mess, so no go. See Orcus Dorcas. Like Michael says, plays lots of games and draws influences where he can. Probably talking about Fred. In fact, he also mentioned Ramen Laws and Ken Height's influence on Fate 2. Yeah. It's just painful to try and do research I did for an interview I conducted in October 2013. Yeah. Sign off. See you, Harrigan. Yeah, well, gods. All right. Direct him to Eileen. Should direct him to Eileen. I was being facetious. Don't hit up Harrigan for Cypher for Cypher details. Eileen is your book of knowledge on Cypher. Not that I want you to inundate her with questions about Cypher, but she is the resident expert on our Discord, I would say. Katai says, like Camp Banks, Cortex Prime is thick with fate stuff in it. If in it, we cannot stand on the shoulders of great game designers. Yeah. Great. All right. Yeah, all right. See y'all, I'm wrapping it up. Let's do this. That is not what I wanted to wrap up. Hold on a second. Bear with me. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. One second, please. Hold, please. I updated the credit screen. I'm gonna wrap this sucker up though. Wrap it up. All right, there we go. Squared away. I'm just gonna do stuff. I'm gonna get all my stuff squared away while I stream. Like, prep? What? No. All right. There we go. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up today. I really appreciate it. As always, thank you. Without you, I couldn't do this every Saturday. No pressure. It'd be the end of me if you don't show up every Saturday. Just kidding. I hope you get some gaming in this weekend. For those of you that aren't here in the U.S., I hope you get some gaming in. For those of you here in the U.S., enjoy the holiday weekend. Do some gaming, spend some time with folks you appreciate. And, I don't know what else to say. Be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Move, learn, and create. And we'll check you next week here at 8 a.m. Saturday, Central Time, U.S.